Russia is issuing a new warning. They say supplying Ukraine with US-built F-16 fighter jets would escalate the conflict. Ryan Zinke, the Republican from Montana and a retired SEAL Team 6 commander, joins me now. Congressman, good morning to you. We've heard this rhetoric from Russia every time the U.S. considers some new type of military aid. But do you support sending more weapons to Ukraine?
You know, I don't support as a blank check. And I've asked at the highest level of government, what's the plan? Tell me the plan. Thus far, we've spent about $130 billion of U.S. military hardware aid support. But what's the plan? So bounce it around with a blank check, I think, is dangerous, and we are tiptoeing blindly into nuclear combat with the Russians if we're not careful.
All right, I'm going to switch subjects for you. One I think that kind of makes your blood boil a little bit. General Mark Milley says cancelling the drag shows that were planned to be held on military bases was the absolute right thing to do. He also says these performances were not federally funded. But what do you make of all of this?
All right, let's start out Department of Defense, right? The Department of Defense is paying for sex change operations and hormone therapy. You have a Secretary of the Navy that thinks the #1 threat to this country is global warming. And you have a recruitment program that uses drag queens as influencers. And you wonder why we have a recruiting problem? So I appreciate that General Milley stepped forward and said this is a mistake, it's not happening, but we need to examine from bow to stern on this ship, because the military is perceived as being woke, and I can tell you a lot of sons and daughters around our country are not joining the service because they believe that's the case.
Yeah. What's the morale like in the military right now? Do you get a sense of that, Congressman?
Well, you know, I have a lot of pride, and I love the Navy, I love the military, but when you don't have physical standards anymore in the Navy, they used to have 2 a year, now they have 1, there's no consequence of failure. The Marine Corps is co-ed, and I always go to the troops, I always go to the chiefs. Chiefs, what's going on? And what they're telling me is a lot of people are bailing, and the people that are bailing out of the military are the exact people that we should be retaining, and a lot of times the people that are retaining are the ones that you know, you need to do something else. The #1 job of our military is to defend this country. The #1 job of Congress is to make sure our troops on the front line have the right equipment, the right training, and the right morale to win decisively on the field of battle. And what I'm seeing is this woke agenda is a distraction from our core mission.
Congressman, we hear your message loud and clear. Thank you for joining us this morning to share it. We do appreciate it.